Ngayon po ay December 8. Dapat po ay solemnity ng Immaculate Conception, pero sa ang batas po ng liturhiya natin sa simbahang Katoliko ay hindi po natin pwedeng paltan ang liturhiya ng Adbyento. Kaya ngayon ay ikalawang linggo ng Adbyento, kaya ito ang nauuna sa table of precedence. And tomorrow, we will celebrate the solemnity of the Immaculate Conception. But being a working day, even if it's a holy day of obligation, you're not required to come to Mass, but you are highly encouraged. Especially, but if you're not working, if you have nothing to do, you have to come to Mass tomorrow. Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception. Pero kung may trabaho, at sapagkat ngayon ang traffic ay buhol-buhol kahit saan, buong Pilipinas yata ay traffic. Kahapon, mayroong mga lumabas ng Doña Soledad ng hapon, halos 3 oras yata kayong nakatigil sa Doña Soledad. At huwag na natin pag-usapan ang Skyway na hindi Skyway. At ang palabas ng Bikutan, on both sides of the fence, East and West Service Road, ay problema. At ito'y problemang hindi magbabago sapagkat parami ang kotse at lalo nang merong electric vehicles na mura ay padami ang sasakyan. Pero hindi po yan ang aking sermon. Ngayon ho, sa summary po ng mga 3 pagbasa. Ang unang pagbasa galing kay Baruch. Madalang po natin marinig si Baruch. Pero mahalaga malaman natin na si Baruch. Si Baruch ay secretary po yan ni Jeremias. Kaya kung ano sinasabi ni Baruch ay kung ano ang binigyang diin ni Isaías at ni Jeremias. At po yan. Yan po ay pag-asa. So I'd like to quote him once more to impress upon us that this first reading has a lot to do with the message of Advent as a whole. And he says, "Take off your robe of mourning and misery and put on the splendor of glory, the glory of God." Sa ikalawang pagbasa po galing sa sulat ni Pablo sa mga taga-Pilipos, Paul again mentions confidence. Confidence in what? What God can do. And he was saying, may God who began this work in you put it to completion. Actually, it's not a wish, it's a declaration. God who began the work in you will put it to completion. It's a message of confidence. And then in the gospel we heard Luke talk about the prophet John the Baptist, and he describes himself in 2 words, two images. One, a voice, and second, a voice in the desert. Pag sinabi nating tinig, isang munting tinig, hindi yan malakas kundi nag-iisa. Pag sinabi nating tinig sa ilang, walang nakikinig sapagkat walang tao sa disyerto. Pero ang kanyang mensahe ay tumataginting at bagay na ipinagmamakaingay pa rin natin. Prepare the way of the Lord. At matapos sabihin yung pinakamahalagang mensahe, paghandaan ang daraanan ng Panginoon, binanggit niya ang mga resulta, and the results are simply out of this world. And let me enumerate them. 1, valleys will be filled. 2, mountains will be made low. 3, winding roads will be straightened. 4, rough ways will be made smooth. Who doesn't want straight roads? Who doesn't want Franz, yung hinukay nung gumawa ng tubo, ay lubak-lubak ang Franz ngayon. Ayaw natin yan. Marami nakikita ko sa Better Living Group, maraming umaangal. Pag kami naghukay at nagpagawa ng tubo, bala kayo dyan. Yan ang ginagawa natin. Walang nag-aayos. But then, the summary of the gospel from Luke tells us, and this is my point for this homily this morning, All flesh shall see the salvation of God. All flesh. That is a technical word. In Greek, that is sarx. And sarx, as used in the New Testament, means a whole lot of things. Maraming layers. And they are all negative. They are not necessarily positive. All flesh shall see the salvation of God. The translation of flesh, sarx, in Spanish, is Tagalog, karne. Karne. Lahat ng karne, all flesh, mortal flesh, shall see the salvation of God. So let me go to this important concept. All flesh shall see the salvation of God. I begin with a little story, walking down back in history. In the year 395, Rome was dying. In the late 4th century, the Empire of Rome was crumbling down. And the Goths, the Huns, the Vandals, the Visigoths were banging at the doors of the Empire of Rome. And during that time, at about 410, when Rome fell to the hands of the Visigoths, they were barbarians. Barbarians mean may balbas, barba. They were not shaving themselves, so they were called barbari. They wore beards, and so they were called barbarians. These are people who attacked the empire of the city of Rome, the Christian empire at the time. And the barbarians put to rout the empire of the Christian empire of Rome. And Augustine, the bishop, was in North Africa. It's just about 18 kilometers if you cross the strait to Italy. And he was watching what was going on. And he was sad. He was depressed, like me, time and time again. When I see the reality of our country crumbling down because of the infighting between our leaders, yung away ng mga magnanakaw. When we see our country being attacked by that bully country northwest of us, when we see our islands being mined by these people from that big country, bully country, Homonhon, those who are mining Homonhon Islands are from that country. And how do they do that? They pay everybody. Only that country can pay everybody hundreds of thousands of pesos at a time. Millions. Yung Cassandra Ong, bilyonarya, hindi naman graduate ng elementary. When I see this, I feel like Augustine, when he was Bishop of Hippo, and he was witnessing the crumbling down of the Empire of Rome. But then Augustine is a man of faith. Augustine read Baruch. Augustine knew his gospel. Augustine knew his faith. And so he wrote the book. Actually, it's a collection of 22 books. Civitas Dei, the city of God. And what was he intending to say in his 22 books? The city of God versus the city of man. The city of man was the city being brought by the Vandals, the barbarians, the barbary, the bearded ones, the unbelievers, those who were banging at the doors of the Christian empire. It was the end of an era. He was seeing the end and the possible destruction of the whole Christian set of values that the Empire of Rome stood for at the time. But then he knew what John the Baptist said, all flesh shall see the salvation of God. I'd like all of us to hold on to this. All sarx, all karne, lahat ng kamunduhan, lahat ng nambubuhay sa mundong ibabaw, lahat ng nagpapahalaga sa mga bagay na walang kapararakan at walang kahihinatnan, all of us, sinners and saints alike, shall see the salvation of God. The flesh stood for the world. The flesh stood for what we stand for Right now, hindi natin alam kung ano ang susundan. Lumabas ang Shiminet, pinag-usapan ng buong mundo, buong Pilipinas, si Shiminet. Namatay si Liam Payne, may mga babae, mga bata, mga generation digital natives, gumawa ibinurol si Liam Payne. Gumastos, bumili ng ataud sa Espanyol, bumili ng mga bulaklak at ipinagluksa si Liam Payne. But then, lumabas naman ang ibang balita. Ngayon, ang balita ay tungkol yung Maris at saka, anong pangalan ng isa? Anthony Jennings at saka yung Rico na kawawa na ngayon siya ang biktima na pinag-uusapan ng buong social media. All flesh. This is the way of all flesh, worldly things, things that we value more than anything else. Since 2011 up to 2017, if you look at studies, pababa po ng pababa ang nagsisimba paglinggo. Noong 2017, only 46% said they were coming to church once a week. And only 35% said they are coming to church a few times a month. But after the pandemic, and I hear it from you, many don't even go to Mass. Nagsisimba sila sa iPad, sa gadget, habang nagluluto ng adobo, habang naglalaba, habang naglilinis ng bahay. And they're proud about it. Nagsimba ho ako sa Quiapo. Napunta ka ba ron? Naka-wheelchair ka? Hindi ho, sa iPad. Nagsimba kay Father Khalil Yamado sa mga bata at gwapong mga pare. Hindi sa mga parokya. Nagsisimba pero more or less. To come to church, all flesh shall see the saving power of God, but we value more than this saving power of God. We value the world of the sarks, the world of the flesh, the world of entertainment, the world of gigs. And I'm from Poblacion, Makati. They call it Pobla or Pob. And it is alive and it is traffic clogged on Friday nights and every night because all the Gen Zs and millennials are there bar hopping in that little place that is near the Pasig River. So this is our reality. Let me tell you with another story. Maybe some of you are old enough would remember the movie The Power of One. It came out in 1991 when I was much younger. It's the story of PK, Peter Keith something, very long name. And he suffered a whole lot in his early life. He was physically abused, he was abandoned, he was neglected, he was not treated well by society, by the world of the sarks, the world of the flesh. But PK had a dream, had a vision. And he remembered what his mentor told him since he was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And what did his mentor say? First the head, then the heart. Cognition, emotion, action. That was what I talked about last Sunday. Take care of what is in your mind. Take care then of what is in your heart. What is in your heart follows what your mind has. Cognition, emotion. And what your mind contains and your heart values, then your action follows. Cognition, emotion, action. We have to hold on to Augustine's City of God. And we have the assurance from no less than Christ and his predecessor, precursor, John the Baptist. All flesh shall see the salvation of our God. Rome's, what is this power of one? From the point of view of this boy, young boy, who became an adult and a leader and a visionary, what is this power of one? The independence of spirit that allows you to survive any situation, regardless of how hostile it is. It is what gives us meaning And the whole world now, most of all the Philippines, we all need to know the art of meaning making. We've got to know and find out the meaning behind all the stupidities we do, electing people who are not honorable at all, but after becoming senators, they become honorable. Hindi man lang graduate ng elementary, pero honorable. We have to make meaning about what we experience day in and day out. The Goths, the Huns, the Vandals, the Visigoths, attacking, banging at the gates of the empire, the Christian empire of Rome. And there was that lone voice from Hippo, St. Augustine, who wrote The City of God versus the City of Man. From Chiminet to Liam Payne to Maurice and Anthony Jennings, Enrico B. or something, we have enough to worry about. And sometimes what we think is our faith won't be enough to solve so many ills. The traffic, the political infighting, the lack of parking everywhere. Kaya sinasara ang mga kalye sa barangay Don Bosco and everywhere all over the country. The loss of respectability for the bunch of honorables. The uncertainty, the loss of respect for authority, including religious authority, including for us. The ayuda culture, palaki ng palaki sapagkat ang ayuda naghahatid ng boto. Kaya wala na nagtatrabaho, ayuda na lang. Ang lahat nag-iintay ng ayuda. Wala ng pagmamalasakit at pagbibigay ng tamang personal effort. This is the city of man. God tells us today to hope, but to work for the hope we have in our hearts. Prepare the way of the Lord. So, sino ang magpapatag doon sa lubak sa France? Iintayin pa ba natin ang national government? Sino ang maglulutas ng mga tumitigil kahit kailan basta nagbukas ng hazard sa Doña Soledad? Pag nagbukas ng hazard, pwede nang bumara doon sa Metrobank kung kailan kakanan. Nandun sila naka-hazard. At sapagkat naka-hazard, karapatan ko na tumigil dito. Palpak ang ating kultura. Sabi ng mga sociologists noong pang 1980s, we have what sociologists call cultural malaise. Malaise is a French word which is also English. May sakit. May sakit ang ating kultura. Kung ang ating kultura, magsalita ka ng tama, ay sasagutin ka ng mga kampo ni Vice ganda, ikaw na ang magaling. Kansilado ka na. The cancel culture, the wokeist culture, the narcissism epidemic, the self-entitlement, naka-hazard. I'm entitled to park anywhere, basta naka-hazard. This is a job not for God, but for you and me. Then how do we do this? Make straight the paths of the Lord, and then we can hope for every valley being filled, every mountain being made low, winding roads being made straight, rough ways made smooth, and all flesh shall see the salvation of our God.